Well, hello there, and welcome once again to the Great Stories Podcast. I am Ryan Weber, your host for the show. And what you have found is a show where I sit across the table here from another human being, and we just talk about life. We hear their story. We hear the ups and downs, the highs and the lows, but most of all, we hear how they came to know Christ and what that means in the context of their life. You can follow the show on Facebook at The Great Stories Podcast on Facebook there. If you want to support the show, you can do that in three different ways. The first way is financially. You can look on patreon.com, just search for The Great Stories Podcast. It costs a few bucks to put something on like this, and I'm totally not trying to get rich, but just trying to hopefully get to a point where this thing will pay for itself. The second way is to share episodes. If you hear something on the show that just reminds you of someone else or anything like that, just share it around there. That's how these things get around, and I just know there's so much that's said on these microphones that would be an encouragement to other people, for sure. The third way is to come on the show. If you want to be on the show, you want to share your story, guarantee you there's people who want to hear it. Get in touch with me at thegreatstoriespodcast@gmail.com. So this week, this is super fun. I took a trip to Las Vegas with the high school group for the church that I go to. It's called Amplify, and the church is Resonate Church in Fremont. We took about 32 kids on a big bus ride out to the desert into Las Vegas to do all kinds of outreach. We did, prayer on the Las Vegas Strip. We did homeless ministry. Did a little block party with a bunch of kids in one of the lower income areas, and gosh, these students had such a great time. We don't market it as a fun trip, but man, it really seemed like they all had a lot of fun, and a lot of them, they talk about this as the best trip they take, even above our, the fun things that we do. So what I decided to do is on the last night of our time in Vegas, I sat down with a bunch of our students. I didn't get around to all of them, which is a bummer, but there's quite a bit of content in here. But I sat down with a bunch of them all in a row and just kind of asked them about what their experience was like, some of the highs and lows, the challenges, what did they like, just their response to the trip, what they felt like God did through them and in them during that time there. And I was just so blessed to have this time with them. So you'll have to forgive the background noise because this is a busy, noisy building with high schoolers and interns and people yelling and just making all kinds of racket. And there was actually pretty consistently, 8 or 10 other high schoolers in the room while we were doing interviews with one kid. They would listen to it. It was so fun. I hope you enjoy just hearing their thoughts. If you are among these students, if you're an Amplify student, if you went on this mission trip, gosh, I'm so proud of you. The things that you did, the ways that I saw you grow, it just makes me so hopeful for what a heart that is surrendered to Christ can do. And because I got to see a little bit of it, and it just makes me so proud, so happy for you guys. I can't wait for you to listen to yours, as well as your peers' response to this trip. And those of you, if you're in our high school group at AMP and you didn't go this time, gosh, I hope that the sincerity you hear in these voices will motivate you to go next time. Please come with us. Let's double the group and take Vegas over. All right. Well, that said, I hope you enjoy listening to these interviews as much as we enjoyed recording them. Here we go. First on the list, Sam Gentner. Welcome to the prayer room. What so far has been like the biggest parts of your camp experience?
Probably getting to know others better, as well as growing and getting to know God as well.
Yeah. What do you think as far as growing to know God? Like, what do you think you're kind of coming away with in that department?
Well, I feel like this camp really pushes courage into it. I mean, getting to talk to strangers with without knowing God would be like hecka scary.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Did you have some good response from people doing like the street walking prayer and all that?
yeah, there were a couple people that asked for prayer. We got to have a pretty good chat with a guy named Rich on 2x2.
Right on. Well, anything else you want to tell yourself and your Amp fam about your time here?
I feel like this might be one of the best places to get to know God as well as getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like it really pushes you beyond your regular boundaries.
Yeah.
And see how far you can really go with God on your side.
Right on. You think the ones who didn't come missed out?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. All right, Sam. Thanks for kicking it off.
Okay.
All right, sir. Mr. William.
That's me.
Will Yum.
Yum.
Tell me a little bit about your camp. Get everything right up to your face. Tell me about your camp experience, or your mission trip experience.
I think it was like really, honestly, just like enlightening. There's something beautiful about the gospel, and like I think here, like I really saw that, like there, it's like just it's really worth spreading to like, especially like when we go back home. Like I hope that like I'll be way more confident, and I think I will be more confident about sharing the gospel.
Yeah.
Especially places like school and just so much more open to talking about it with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What parts of it you think built that confidence for you?
I think really it was like just like being surrounded by community and like brothers and sisters in Christ.
Right.
And especially like the training here and the leaders, like the interns, like so cool, like such great people, like not what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hadn't been here before.
This is my first year.
You gonna come back?
Yes, of course.
If we come back, you never know with Chase. He will come up with something new sometimes. But
that's how Chase rolls.
That's how he rolls. That's why we love him.
Chase McMahon.
Anything else you want to tell your Amp family or yourself or anyone?
Honestly, just like experience it. It's almost like it's so like it almost changes your heart.
Come on, come in here.
Come in, my son. Yeah, like so the question was like one more, like whatever I wanted to just say kind of thing. Yeah, just like I don't know, like we have so many camps and we have so many like Amp events, and it's like really just so cool to just like send out because we're in the send season, and it's like really it's so cool to send, and like I feel really like motivated, and I hope like I can do something with that. Just let it die out. Like I hope like that doesn't happen. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm so glad you came.
I'm so glad to be here with my guys.
You came. I know. I think there's a bright future for you, my friend.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see, because if you're, your heart's open and you're willing to see, you're willing to hear, you're willing to learn, you're humble, you're teachable. What is it? Faithful, available, teachable. You're fat. I'm glad you were here.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
Thank you for recording this.
Yep. All right. Jonathan Taylor, Johnny Business.
J Business.
Action Johnny.
J Tizzle.
J Tizzle.
My
for
nizzle
shizzle.
for shizzle.
That's
our
right.
dizzle. That's me.
Our Dizzle. That's me. Tell me about your mission trip experience, sir.
I think it was good. I think it's very different from how it was last year, but I think it was a good different.
How was it different?
Last year, I think I had a better connection with God, and I think this year I didn't. And I think it was interesting coming in and just not almost being able to like connect as well, but still like trying and then when it happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when it happened, it was so much better because I feel like you like missing this, and then it just comes and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. What was like some of the other highlights of it for you?
I think it's just such a like a team building and just a good environment for like making like great friends. Like every night we'll stay up till like ungodly hours, just talking and
ungodly. What is it? What is an ungodly hour?
Ungodly hour is like
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Yep, 3 a.m.
Okay.
But I think
it's the bewitching hour.
Yeah, the bewitching hour.
Yeah.
But it's just so different, and like it's not like about stupid things, because that's not what we're talking.
I know.
Yeah, it's not about stupid things. It's surprising.
You guys always want to talk about your deepest feelings at 1 a.m. for some reason.
Yep.
We're here all day. I'm sitting here waiting, and then I want to sleep,
and
it's time.
But I think it's just good, because like if you share testimonies with each other, it's just like deepens your relationship so much.
Yeah. Did you find the testimony time to be really fruitful for you?
I think it was.
Who's in your group?
Marissa, Camellia, and Brayden.
Right on.
The crazy child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the most famous rear end in Vegas.
Yes, he does.
Brayden does. For real.
No homo.
No homo, but he started showing his butt to people out of the back of the bus.
Yes,
so
he's right now at 32 people have responded to his moonings.
I know. It's pretty funny.
Slappage or
yeah,
whatnot.
I don't know. That's very sad. What's been like a challenging part for you?
I think I think coming back, I was expected to just like be ready and like excited to go and like share the gospel, but I was really not. I was like kind of like dreading it, and I think just going into it, it sucked, but coming out of it was like, whoa, like I just had like this crazy conversation with this person, and they might like go and talk to Jesus about it. Like it's like, what just happened?
Is that what did it? You saw what he did, and you responded to it?
Yeah, I think just seeing him in work, just like in motion, just like you're like, oh, like this is like legit. This isn't just some stupid church thing that we're just doing.
Yeah. Interesting that he didn't need your enthusiasm to actually get something done.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Cool, man. Anything else you want to tell your Amp fam?
No.
I love you.
No. I love you, no homo.
Oh, gosh. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Jojo Huang as Mom. Welcome to the show, I guess. I don't know if this is a show or
well, thank you. Whatever this is.
You're here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell me about your mission trip experience.
Well, this is my second year, and it was like altogether different, but just as good. Yeah, because like last year, I just learned a ton about like how to talk to God, how to worship God, and like what it really means to be like worshiping Him. Because it's not just like singing a song and raising your hands, or like saying, "Dear God, just do this, just please, just do this." It's like it's not that.
Yeah, what is it?
It's so much more. It's like literally talking to your best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like this year, last year I just focused on talking to him, but this time it was like he was really telling me things, you know?
Yeah. What did he tell you? Can you tell me what he told you?
Yes, I can tell you.
Tell me, please.
So tonight was our commitment night.
Yeah.
But like I already knew what I was going to write down. I already knew, but like last year I was like, what is this card I'm supposed to write on?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
what was it? Can you share?
Yeah. So I made this promise to God, this kind of commitment or, you know, covenant, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
To just like be ready to do anything, go anywhere. Like if it means doing scary things, like maybe not going to college or going to college and finishing and ministering during college or, you know, wherever that is, it's like, I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm scared, but I'm so excited.
That's awesome. Are you thinking missionary work or what? Like,
I don't really know what like the specific calling is he has for me, but it's like I feel like an urge to go and like tell people and like at home, or maybe that is in missions, maybe that's far away, maybe that's close. I just don't know.
That's a good starting place. What do you think as far as the activities we did here kind of stood out to you?
Well, they added something new this year where we went into like the government building houses and got to hang out with a bunch of kids, and it was just the best time I've had in so long.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, we just got to like walk up to the porch, hang out with these kids, and then we go into their backyard and they have like 5 other families there who are ready to hang out and just like party.
It's kind of awesome.
Not kind of, it's like legit awesome.
So what did you find like challenging or anything like that?
I think I found it challenging just like energy wise, you know, because we're going so hard a week long, and it's like you're with a family here, but also like family gets on your nerves sometimes, you know.
I do. I was just talking to Jonathan about how they wanted to share their deepest feelings at 1 a.m.
Yes,
That's not annoying at all.
No, we made a mega bed in our neighbor's room, and they didn't have any leaders, so it was great.
That's awesome. Well, anything else on your mind that you want to share with your AMP fam?
I guess just that, like, really keep searching and know that he's worth it, because, like, it's hard to realize that. But once you do, it's like, there's really no going back.
That's a win.
Thank you.
Jojo, you're a little angel. Thanks for coming on.
Bye.
Bye. You. All right, Jacob El Guapo Walker.
See,
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How was your mission trip experience?
It was really impactful. It really helped me with my boldness, like just going up and talking to people.
Yeah.
And like I've already like my relationship with God has gotten like a lot better, and just taking the next steps to like pour out into other people now. Like now that my faith is like secure, you know. Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, to be honest. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, like I play basketball, and I had a really big injury, which caused me not to be able to play for the whole summer, which opened up a lot of opportunities for serving and going to AMP and stuff, and just I've been just immersed more in the Word and just like with God, and like so that's just contributed to like my growing strength in faith.
It's like being in community.
Yeah.
Actually helped you with your faith.
Yes.
Go figure. That's kind of cool. What did you find like challenging about the trip?
Challenging. There was a lot of rejections. Like I was with you when this happened, but like some lady was like, "Hail Satan."
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, we were holding the free prayer sign.
Yeah.
And she says, "Prayer?" She says, "Hail effing Satan." I was like, okay. It's not exactly the response to the free prayer sign I was hoping for.
Yeah.
But
like just like all the rejections, like, you know. But just like the good stuff, like it just like completely outweighs the rejections. Like, even if you have one like really good conversation, it just means so much.
What do you think for you is going to be different, like tomorrow night, or I guess Saturday night, you know, when we get home?
Different.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean like different?
Like in you, or something you're going to be thinking about differently, or?
Oh yeah. Okay. So
anything? Do your hair differently?
That too, but like I'm gonna get a haircut, but
nice.
Just different. Like so, I'm gonna like try to be more bold with my faith.
Yeah.
That's something that I wasn't really doing this year. Well, I did it towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
At my school, but I'm gonna just try to be more intentional and just be like a better example of Christ, like my friends.
Yeah.
And like invite them to AMP and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've said it a lot of times that I think your access to people is like on a different level than, you know, like I can't go to your school and, you know, talk to the basketball guys. Like, first of all, they'd kick me off the campus because like huge strangers aren't allowed to just walk around the school and talk to students. But like you're one of the basketball guys. You're one of the cool guys. You know, you have access to people.
Hella cool.
Hella cool guys. And you got the hair and everything. So yeah, I'm hopeful that you'll become just a champion for the kingdom at your school.
Yeah.
And I think you could do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of if you believe that that's your purpose, your calling.
Yeah. I'm just excited to see like how he'll use me, you know?
Yeah, me too. Anything else you want to tell your Amplify fam?
You guys are great, and I love you.
Oh. Oh, that's cute. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, Lee for president.
Yeah, let's go. My campaign is in total action right now. Let me just say it's so cool to be on the show, and I'm so excited.
All right. What's your campaign platform for this election?
Well, right now it looks like throwing out bread to people seems to be the biggest cause, biggest support.
I appreciated that. So during our special brunch is where we highlight the disparity between the rich and the poor in the world. Lee was a middle-class person.
That's right.
And I was a poorer person who only had rice and dirty water. And Lee, in a valiant effort to help with my hunger, he tried to give me a piece of bread with jam on it.
Yes, I was about to eat it, and you said, Lee, you better not do it, or else I won't vote for you. And I was like, my campaign is at stake.
You gotta do it. So you ran over, you gave it to me, and then the cop showed up and slapped it out of my mouth. But anyway, Lee, what's been a couple of the highlights of your trip?
You know, the biggest thing I learned this week is that, the Trinity, we have the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Leave it open.
But there's been like a whole, just like the part covering the Holy Spirit, just like that whole part of having faith in that and stuff that I've seen that I've had like a huge doubt about.
Yeah.
I've kind of learned that I've kind of been ignoring that. Like, what exactly I asked God, like, what is the Holy Spirit? What does it mean for me?
Yeah.
It was something I prayed about when we had our first quiet time. We were covering the book of Acts. And I said, God, I just learned today at church how important the Holy Spirit is. And I don't really know much about it. Can you just reveal that to me? And when I opened up to the book of Acts, the very first chapter was just like a cover about God's Holy Spirit. So I know that God was like there to really teach me. And I feel like the Holy Spirit was like filled in me because I felt this year, I went last year as well, but this year I felt so much more bold and I had so much like courage to talk to people. And so I think last year was something I've kind of pushed out, or there's like this self-humanism about me where it's like I don't really see it to be true, and I don't have any faith in it. But this year I was like, I opened it up. I'm like, God, I'm just ready for you to pour out on me. And so that's like the biggest highlight of the Vegas trip.
Wow, that's pretty heavy. So was there a specific activity or whatever that put that together for you, or was it like a combo of things?
Oh, it was a combination. A couple of them. We did a homeless outreach. We packed a lunch for ourselves, packed a lunch for a friend, a homeless person that we were going to have a conversation with. And we were going to give this out to someone who really wanted to chat with us.
Yeah.
And I was rejected by a couple homeless people. They said they weren't willing to talk to us. But there was this one guy named Morris. And I just felt like when I talked to him that I had a specific purpose for talking to him. Like God had those other people reject us because God was waiting for us to talk to Morris. I was with Jam and I were together, and just the conversation we had, I just feel like I was really confident talking to him, really comfortable. And I don't like being uncomfortable, and I'm glad that the God puts me in uncomfortable places, but I also seem that I was able to find comfort in uncomfortable situations.
Once you just do it,
you're
like, okay, I'm here now, it's not so bad.
Like
I'm just being
fear,
me.
I volunteered to like share my testimony at Viva La Worship.
Yeah.
And I was so scared about it. But I think, like the Holy Spirit just comforted me. And that was like great to learn about.
Yeah. It's awesome. What was like maybe one of the challenging things for the trip?
So exposing myself to kind of like the Holy Spirit, I feel like the enemy was trying to do the exact same thing to pull me out.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like this, like a tug of war of just like kind of this evil spirit that's kind of going over me. So I had a lot of like mixed emotions about things. And, I don't really know specifically, but sometimes I just felt pretty down. It's like, God, I just have like these depressing thoughts over me. I feel like when I'm at a time that I'm so close to, and I'm being in such a good relationship with you, the enemy wants me to pull me out just like that. And so, I think as times when we are with learning just more about God, the enemy's like, I don't like that, I want to pull you out again. And so it's always a battle. And I learned this week about like the armor we could put on, like the belt of truth, just our chest plates of righteousness, and just like a sword to like combat the enemy. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the fact is that if we are capable of seeing our mission and our potential for it, and you know, we see success and fruit and all that thing, our enemy can see it too.
Yeah.
Probably, you know, in some ways more clearly than we can, you know, and he comes after that. He doesn't want it to happen. So all we do is we come here and expose ourselves to God's Spirit, but we also expose ourselves to resistance. And so you know you're doing something right when you're feeling, you know, resistance to it. That's when you're getting closer to the target. It's kind of fun. I think that feeling eventually becomes like a motivating thing, because you're like, oh, okay, we're in a fight now. Like, let's go. You know, it's still scary.
It is, yeah.
But you get battle hardened, right?
Yes.
The armor. Love it. Lee, anything else you want to tell your AMP fam?
You know, it's okay to be uncomfortable. And actually, like, just strive for that. God has such a good mission for you. And I feel like, especially the people who have been at AMP the longest, I feel like they've gotten so comfortable at AMP. For them, sometimes it's hard to reach out to, like, the new people. That's definitely something I struggle with. And so just for the people who go to AMP, just remember, like, hey, think about becoming like a servant at AMP instead of just being like the receiver.
Yeah.
Especially if you're one of the people who've been at AMP the longest, that probably means you're an upperclassman. And I think the important role for upperclassmen is to really serve on the underclassmen and teach them. So yeah, awesome. Go uncomfortable is what I would say.
I love it. Thank you, Lee.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Your name is Lee, and you approve this message. So this is Braden Kellum.
Hello.
The legendary, the one and only. Every trucker in town knows about him.
Oh no.
We discovered that you went on a mooning rampage while we were
getting exposed. Damn, you're exposing me, aren't you?
You exposed yourself, actually. I have to claim ignorance about it, though. I don't know what you're talking about. Braden Kellum. Besides that, what's been some of the highlights of your mission trip so far? Or so far, but in total, we're leaving tomorrow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The main thing that I like really enjoyed was free prayer, and I just feel like I was really able to like connect with the people who like walked past me.
Yeah.
And just praying for them like reinforced how I felt about God. And there was this one guy that I prayed for, called John, and he just like, you could tell he was homeless, and like he had like a really tough life out in the streets. And I got to know him, and I was just like, list out all the sins that you've done, because like we got to know each other really well.
Yeah.
And like one of them was addiction to like weed, and he listed that out, and I just told him, I was like, well, you don't have to worry about that, because like God has already forgiven you for that.
Yeah.
And he ended up like accepting Christ as his savior, and so like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was really good.
And that's right there on the strip in front of the MGM Grand.
Mm-hmm.
You're praying with this guy.
Yep.
That's crazy cool.
This was the first time that we did it.
Yeah.
This wasn't at Fremont, but yeah, it's really good.
Tell me about the Paw Patrol. Was that you?
No, that was Christian.
Oh, Christian. Okay, he'll have to tell me about that. Somebody was praying with that guy dressed in a giant dog costume. He never took the head off. He he prayed with the guy while he still had his costume head on.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And he didn't have to pay for it either. What has been like some of the challenging things about your trip?
Some of the challenging things is like, I really always saw like I had a relationship with God.
Yeah.
But I never really took it like personal, I guess.
Right.
And like over this trip, that was like tough for me, but like by the end of it, especially on like the commitment night,
right.
I realized like it's kind of like the relationship you have with like a father, as like he is the father. And so like I really like realized that he was like my father, and that I had like a personal relationship with him, I guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think that's going to look like going home? Like, what does that change for you?
I think going home I'll have like a much stronger relationship with God, and I was like also called to like go like evangelize to like my friends at school.
Yeah.
And I already have like someone in mind who
Yeah.
I really want to talk about, like who I really want to talk to.
It's awesome.
Just invite them to AMP, you know.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to share with your AMP fam? I gotta figure out something else to say. You're gonna get tired of hearing that over and over.
Just mainly what I said before, just like God has like you can have a personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
And like he's not just like this person up there, but like you can actually like relate with him, and you can love him like you love a father.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's beautiful. Thank you, sir. Looking forward to the ride home.
Oh.
Oh,
sure to get many more people.
Yes, yeah. We'll see what we can do. It'll be great. Thank you. All right, Rachel.
Yes.
Yee!
Hello.
Welcome. So you're one of our graduated
I know.
seniors.
I'm old.
You're so stinking old. You have a job and you pay taxes and drive and things.
Unfortunately.
So practically a grown up.
Yep.
So this is your last, like, Amplify event, right?
It's sad. I got
This is
kicked out
it.
of summer camp.
Like, you can't do anything after this. You can't even go to summer camp.
I know.
Wow.
It's okay.
What a loser. No. So how are you feeling about that?
Feeling pretty good. It's been a crazy week.
Yeah.
Very overwhelming, but it's good.
Yeah. You know, I'd actually like to go back and hear just a little bit of, like, the last year or so with your experience with AMP, and kind of, because you spent some time not, like, being a part of it, and then now you're, like, super a part of it, so much so that you're on the mission trip and you're wishing you could go again.
Mm-hmm.
What happened there?
Yeah, so I'm a swimmer, and so during swim season, I'm on the varsity team, and it's like really
Get a little
hard.
closer to that, I think.
Really hard to balance swim and school and life. So I like just stopped coming to AMP for like 2 months straight, and it was I put school above God, and I really felt that. And when I came back, I was like, "Hi guys," and everyone's like, "Who was that?" And so it was really hard.
I wasn't. I was yelling at you from the sidewalk. Rachel, yeah!
Yeah. But yeah, I realized after summer camp last year that just being in community with these people is like so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important.
Mm-hmm.
And what college are you going to?
Cal Poly.
Cal Poly. Who are you going there with?
Murda.
Right here.
We will be your roomies.
There you go. Roomies. Yeah. We talked about the running and how Myrta's like running schedule is intimidating for you. It's understandable.
I don't even know the most of it.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to get her to swim.
Yeah, go to swimming instead. So on this trip, what has been some of the more impacting things you've done, and like what are you learning?
Mm-hmm. I think just boldness for like God's glory, and like being open and honest with the people who like God puts in your life.
Yeah.
That you can trust, and praying, definitely praying more. Power of prayer.
Yeah. What were a couple of the highlights, like outings that we had?
Definitely like free prayer. I've heard some of the students say free prayer, but definitely free prayer. I'm pretty scared of like talking to people, so.
The Fremont Street.
Yeah.
Free prayer. Or the Strip. Which one? The first night?
Both.
Both of them.
Mostly Fremont Street though.
Just random people.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
cool.
Like one guy like walked past me, and I was like, And he looked interested, but then he like came back 2 minutes later and talked, and I was like, I could always use free prayer. And I was like, yes, you can.
And you prayed. And you prayed for him.
It was really cool.
That's something you think you can take with you, like in the future.
Just being like open to people.
Yeah.
And trusting that God will like speak through that.
What's been maybe some of the challenges that you've had?
The first few days was really overwhelming, the schedule, and being tired. But yeah, I prayed to God for like soulish energy instead of my body being tired.
Yeah.
And I think He provided for that. So.
That's awesome. Anything else you got on your mind?
To the younger students, always come to AMP. Please. It's an amazing place. These people are awesome.
Good advice. Good advice. All right, then.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rachel Yee.
You're welcome.
Well done. All right, Philip Taylor Philippe.
Howdy.
Felipe Navidad, as
thank you.
Chase would call you.
Yes.
You are yet another freshly graduated senior entering the world of college. Which college are you going to, for those who do not know?
Going to Calvin College up in the southwest side of Michigan.
I think we knew that because you've already worn the sweater out.
Right?
Yeah. What's exciting you about that?
Getting to go onto this new stage of life where anything like fake that I've built up over my time in high school is just like torn down, and I get to see like, I guess what I really like hold valuable in the community that I make up at Calvin.
Get right up on that thing.
Right up on that thing.
Right up on it.
Hello.
And is Calvin College is a Christian college?
Correct.
Okay. And do you know what you're majoring in yet?
Yeah, I'm gonna major in psychology.
Ooh.
Mind games.
Mind powers. Is that where you can like control things with your mind?
You know, that's what I'm hoping to figure out.
Is that just like a mutant thing? Okay.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Let me know.
Okay.
You can levitate a cup. That'd be cool.
Dude, if I figure that out, I'll teach you.
Yoda. So this is, you're like one of the true OG Amplify people.
Yeah.
Because you were in it from like 6th grade, right? Oh, no.
As soon as I could join.
Yeah.
7th grade.
Yeah. So you've been in it for 6 years. The full boat.
Yep.
Wow. And I met you in 8th grade?
Yes.
You were in 8th grade. Yeah. Yeah. I'm wearing your little Lions hat.
Oh, no.
Your long hair, all shaggy. Look at you now.
Let's pretend we don't remember that.
I remember it. I'd love to ask you, just having been at AMP for 6 years.
Yeah.
Like, what are just a couple of the highlights for you that's made it worth like consistently being a part of it for that long? I'm springing hard questions on you.
No, it's good. I like these. I would say it's growing with people and the camps, especially the winter camps for me. Just getting to just grow in maturity and getting to know God with just all these different people around me and seeing that change, as well as the just insanely deep personal connections that you make with people throughout the camps. I think that keeps me coming back.
The camps are huge.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was doing the math on it, and if someone goes to AMP for all, like, I think 47 weeks that we meet, because we take December off.
Yeah.
And you're there for 2 hours every Tuesday. It's only, like, how many hours? I did the math, but I forgot it. How many hours is that? Who's good at math? 2 hours times 40 something? That's
probably twice of.
It's only like 90 hours, right? But we've been here already for like 170.
Yeah.
So that, like, just this trip is more hours consecutively than all of AMP, including winter camp. It's crazy.
Dang.
Yeah, that's why you feel bonded.
No kidding.
And that's why those of you who did not come have missed out on something amazing.
Oh, yeah.
What has been a couple highlights for you from this trip?
Getting to know just a lot of people. Just all these, like, crazy deep conversations that I've been having people, like, just in downtime or wherever we can squeeze them in.
Yeah. The staff here thinks we're crazy.
Oh, yeah. We are.
Because they're like, you should be napping. You should be tired. And we're not. We're like doing testimonies and having these deep conversations. It's great. Yeah. What else? What are some of the outings that we did that were cool for you?
For me, before, I've done the, like, homeless outreach where you, like, take bags and go talk to homeless people. And while that was good, it wasn't very new. And I don't think I got too much from that. I think doing, just going out in, especially the 2x2s, and just having to be, like, crazy bold and, like, just going up and talking to these random people.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, coming here, I thought, oh, yeah, I'll have, like, an easy time doing that. Like, I can, like, fake my way through it, or, like, just, like muscle through it. But, like, I got here and just every time I kept freezing. It was crazy.
Hi.
My name's
what's my name? Philip. Yeah, it's super awkward, huh?
Oh yeah, but just learning to, like, I think it was the last person I talked to during the 2x2s. we had prayed beforehand for God to just give us like some sort of like sign to like highlight someone that he would want us to talk to. And mine was a skateboard. So we went to a park and I saw this one kid, maybe like 14-ish, with a skateboard riding around, and he was constantly hanging around at least like 3 friends. And I was like just waiting around like, okay, maybe eventually he'll like break off from the pack and I can go talk to him about Jesus.
Stalker status.
Oh, it must have been so creepy if anyone noticed.
Why does that guy keep staring at me? I don't know what's going on.
But I just like kept like, oh, I'll like do it like later, like I don't want to do it right now or whatever. But just through the encouragement of like Daniel and Haley and just trying to like, I guess just stepping out in faith, and not trusting on like my own like false bravado, but like actually having to rely on God for that was new and good.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to going home?
Getting to know God more. I've always felt like I know God like pretty well, growing up in the church, being a pastor's kid and all that fun stuff. But like just talking like to people and just I feel like God's been like just showing me how much that I don't actually know about him and being just like, well, like come find out about me, right? Yeah. And so going home and just like reading the Bible more and just trying to get to know him.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Right on. Anything you want to tell folks? Anything on your mind? Your Amplify fam?
Yeah. For the Amplify fam, I would say just keep coming and like don't hide. Don't hide like physically, but like also don't hide what you're going through, right? Yeah. Even if it's just one person, like talk to someone and just take a risk and see the love and the grace that comes from that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Weber.
Can't wait to see what's next.
Me too.
Let's go.
Bye-bye.
Hannah Downey.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
So this is your second Vegas trip?
Yeah.
Last year was your first. Mm-hmm. And we did like testimonies last year and this year, and you ended up in my group. So I've heard your testimony twice.
Yeah.
Lucky me. And you've heard mine twice, so bummer for you. Sorry. So, Hannah, what when you were like getting ready for this trip, having been before, what were a couple of the things that you were looking forward to? And what were a couple of things you were kind of not?
Well,
new questions. Yes.
Yeah. So I was really looking forward to like getting closer to people.
Yeah.
And because like last year it was just like a great group of people and I really made a lot of new friends. So this year I was just really excited to continue to build those friendships and make new friendships. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What were some things that were kind of not really exciting for you?
Actually, like, so last year it was like, I had a really good time, and then this year leading up to it, I didn't really want to go. I was really hesitant because like, I was like, oh, it's gonna stress me out, and then I was like, I don't really know why I'm going. I felt like I didn't really have a purpose in going, but then I came and it worked out. I had a really good time. So, yeah.
Did you discover what the purpose you were going was?
I guess it was just learning how to talk about the gospel more in regular conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What ways do you think you met God here?
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Did anything jump out to you in our commitment service there? Like what, just kind of any takeaways you come away with?
Just, I can't be afraid of what other people think of me. I just have to go for it, and God's opinion is the only thing that matters, and I know he loves me. Yeah.
That's huge. That's been on my mind a lot lately too. I've been going through that, struggling to shake off either people's approval, like not working for it, but also not letting people's disapproval like derail you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. what were just a couple of like the outreaches or anything like that you just stood out to you as exciting or extra fun?
I always like free prayer. Yeah, it was.
A lot of people are saying that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What was it about it? Just talking to strangers and doing weird stuff like that, or?
Yeah. I really surprised myself because normally it's hard for me to talk to just my friends even. So I was like, oh, talking to strangers about God, like that's scary.
Yeah.
And then like, I went out there during Viva La worship, and like, I was really stressed, and I just like, some people in my group prayed for me, and I started like shaking out and stuff, and then like I just was like, okay, just talk to people, and I was trying to find the right person, but then I realized like there's no really right person. Everyone's a child of God, and like all you have to do is plant the seed. So I was just like, okay, just do it.
Well said.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. What are you looking forward to for when we go home? Smooth.
Yeah, so when I go home, I really want to bring the gospel more into my school. So last year I was working to put a Christian club in my school, and like I got really scared, so we decided like not to submit the paperwork. And like this year, like over the summer, I was like, what? Like I hesitated. So like this year I'm just really gonna try to follow through with that and actually like show like God's love to my friends at school.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be like a missionary to Kennedy High.
Yeah.
That's cool. You think your brother's gonna support you in that mission? Or is he just gonna sit around and scratch himself?
Yeah, we're both working on the club together, so it's cool.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought we were cool. You didn't tell me about that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. We'll chat about it. That's fine. Dude, Hannah, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I think we should be praying for you as your little missionary there with the Titans. Anything else you want to share with your Amplify family?
Yeah, just come to AMP. If you're not feeling it, you have to go to AMP. You need a community. Don't isolate yourself. It makes a difference going to AMP.
Well said. A couple themes that are going is the free prayer thing and that one.
Yeah.
Come, be in community. Awesome. Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Murda, or as Chase calls you, Mirth.
Yeah.
Or Martha, or does it bother you when people mess up your name?
Anything is fine except for Mirth and Myrtle, pretty much.
Myrtle. That's right. We talked. I grew up across the street from a super old lady named Myrtle, so I don't call you that because I think you're not a really old lady.
Thank you.
So Myrda, you are yet another graduated old lady.
Yeah.
Senior. You're going to Cal Poly with Rachel Yee.
Yeah.
Roomies. What's exciting you about that?
I think it's just exciting to get out of the house and like meet new people and like kind of just like live on your own a little bit and like not be like constrained with like the times and like everything that like school sets for you.
Yeah. Well, tell me about your last Amplify trip. You've gone on quite a few in the last 3.5 years or so, right?
Yeah.
So what about this one kind of stood out to you in a lot of ways?
I don't know, this one was really fun. Like I went 3 years ago to this one too, and I feel like I didn't take that much advantage of it. I didn't really speak out, and this time I was a lot more open and like willing to talk to people like on the street and also here.
Yeah.
And I really loved like the outreach yesterday with the kids. It was really fun hanging out with them.
That was my favorite part too.
Yeah, me too.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
What were maybe some challenging things about it for you?
Definitely the 2x2 the other day, I think it was yesterday, was one of the hardest times because it was like in a park, just like Lake Elizabeth kind of. It was so awkward just going to talk to people.
That was super awkward. I always find it hard. Like when people are at a park, they always seem to be kind of doing something. Or if they're alone, they look like they really want to stay that way. So it's just weird to break in. Is Hezzy here? No, he was out. He's one. So at the end, we were standing like about to leave, and this guy, this like middle-aged white guy, is like power walking around the place, and he starts like power walking right next to him. He's like, hi, how you doing? Can I be your friend? Can we talk? It's like that little dog, like, next to him. And he just would not leave him alone. He followed him around until he was just out of sight. I'm like, okay, hopefully that worked.
That's a hezzy thing to do.
I know, that's a gift. What were maybe some challenging things besides that?
Well, lack of sleep a lot because we stayed up pretty late, and I was like falling asleep during some of the sermons and the classes a little bit, so that was definitely a big challenge.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't fall asleep while we're driving tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can't sleep for very long when you're driving.
Yeah, exactly.
I found. So what are you kind of taking away from this, just like spiritually? In what ways do you think you met God here?
I think it's just like through prayer too. I feel like I let the Holy Spirit come in and like pray for me kind of, and also just like rely on God that like he loves me no matter what, so I don't have to care about what people think about me.
Beautiful. What would you tell an incoming freshman to Amplify? Well,
similar to what a lot of people are saying, like come to Amp and like don't be afraid to like let people know who you are and like open up, because like it feels so good to be able to like have a community and talk to people and like just like be yourself.
Be you. Have that be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome. Well, hey, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I'm glad you did. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
I'm going to miss you on Sundays too.
Me too. I miss
It's a bummer. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well done. All right, Daniel the Manual.
What's up, Piper?
Welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm famous now.
You are. Get that thing right up on your face there.
All the way in my face.
Like it's your best friend that you were just really creepy close with. There you go.
I don't know about that one.
You ever talk to a friend from that far away?
Definitely
It's really weird, huh? I don't think so. So, Daniel, you came to this last year also.
Yes.
I feel like in the last year, you've probably showed like some of the most like growth and change and curiosity, and like you want to know the gospel. You're always asking questions. I love that. And last year you were just a storm of questions.
Yeah.
All day. Everybody ask a question. Get your little Bible open. It's beautiful. I love that hunger. So, but you came back.
Yes, I did come back.
I want to ask you the same question I asked Hannah. So, what are some things coming into the trip that you were looking forward to, and maybe something you weren't?
Well, I don't know really what I was looking forward to coming in. I guess I was just looking to, build that connection with God. On the bus, I really thought, I should throw myself into it as hard as possible.
Yeah.
And just like get in really quick. And so I had some good conversations the first day with like some of the interns.
Yeah.
And I think over the whole week I've been growing pretty close to the interns. And so, I'm friends with a lot of them. But yeah, I think that's what I was looking forward to the most.
Awesome. Well, what are a couple of things we did that stood out to you as just as fun or just like deep spiritually? Talk a little bit louder too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So some things that I thought, I guess, were fun. We're just having like good conversations. I just love having like good conversations with people, and I think a lot of times we don't get to have those.
Yeah.
So sometimes we take for granted the time we have at camp, and so it's really fun for me to just do that. Just some amazing spiritual things happened. Just God has given me so much peace over this trip. And I think just right now, the commitment service, he basically just sent me the one guy I needed to talk to in the entire room, Matt. And Matt has been, struggling with some stuff recently, but he just recently got out of it, and just in time for the commitment service as well. And so, I just like booked it to the couch Matt was sitting on and just had the best conversation ever. So
that's awesome.
God spoke so much like directly to my life, and I think,
Beautiful. What have been a couple challenging parts for you?
I think I've been struggling a lot with anger, just with God, and sometimes with people, and jealousy. Just a lot of emotions about my identity. I've been struggling a lot with that. But for the trip, I think just boldness, and also I feel like the things I do aren't enough, that I should be doing more. And I should be helping more people, but I'm not, or making better connections, but I'm not. And so sometimes I feel regretful or guilty or jealous about that.
Wow. Have you felt like that's been helped by your time here, or are you still there?
Definitely, I think it's gone a lot better. I felt a lot of healing and just grace from God, and I feel that we constantly heard this week that your identity is in Christ, that you're a new person, that you don't have to rely on your own strength, and I know we hear that a lot, just outside, because church always tells you the same things, but I think this time it was different, because it was really shown to, right, just the way people acted, the way people treated you. It just showed that you don't have to be like so self-conscious. You could just be yourself.
Ooh, that's good. We should write that down. Preach it. Oh yeah, I guess we should record it on a radio show. That'd be great.
That'd be a good idea.
Well, what are you looking forward to going home? Like, what do you think the impact of your time here is on your kind of day to day?
I think definitely I'm going to be more spiritual. I definitely want to know God a lot more. I still have that, hunger. And I'm going to start reading the Bible a lot more. I haven't been doing that recently.
I want to see those questions again.
Yes, dude. I have so many. But I'll start writing them down. But also, I think just fasting from things that, aren't necessary. I feel like God has given me a passion, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been taking a lot of photos recently.
I noticed.
So I think I'm just gonna put away my phone, put away my laptop, and just spend time in nature, away from my home, and just enjoy what's out there, without having to worry about constantly what my parents are gonna tell me, because I'm just at home all day wasting my time.
Wow. That's some deep stuff, man. I'm glad you came.
Thanks.
This is great.
I'm glad you interviewed me.
Thank you for coming. Yeah. Well done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Weber.
Okay. Tayala Kellam.
Hey.
Coming to you all the way from down under.
Yeah.
How do you feel like about your brother's escapades around Las Vegas recently? Proud, sad, ashamed?
I think it's probably better if I don't comment. No, I don't know.
Get right up on that thing. There you go.
Like, I don't know. It's weird. But then, I was kind of, supporting it toward the end. So I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this.
All right. Well,
yeah.
We'll see how things shake out in the end.
Yeah.
In the end. Get it?
Yes.
I did that. End. It's the end. Yeah, it's a butt joke.
Yeah.
So, this is your second time at Vegas? Your third?
Third time.
No way.
Yeah.
You're OG. I think you're the first third-time person that I've talked to.
Near me.
Well, she hasn't come out here yet.
No. Just kidding.
Wow. I didn't know you came the first time.
Yeah.
You were here then?
Yes.
You've been around for 3 years.
Yes.
Get out of here.
I know.
Whoa. That's hard to believe. Okay. When did you officially come to the U.S.?
March 17th, 2016.
2016, March 17th. Wow, time flies. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. This is so cool. I think I've asked you every Australian question that I can think of before, but give me the really quick version of what it was like to come here, not know anybody, and get plugged into a new community and family.
Yeah. Coming here was really hard because the only people I had that I knew were my mom, my dad, and my brother. Yeah. So we left everything pretty much back in Australia.
Yeah.
So coming to America was
it's good.
Pretty hard, and for the first 2 or 3 months, we were trying to find a house, and mom was trying to find a job and a school and a church, and everything was getting settled in. So yeah, it was just hard to be alone that time, all that time.
Yeah.
But then when we found Resonate, and when Brayden and I found AMP, it was just having a solid community to fall back on made it school easier and just everything easier.
It's awesome. Yeah. I'm so glad you guys came here. I've said it before, of all the places, as far away as you came from way down under, that you made it to weird little Fremont, California, and you landed at Resonate Church of all places. So you're here. Super cool. So coming into this trip, having been a third timer, what were you thinking about? What were you looking forward to? What was on your mind about it?
So I really didn't know, because like both times, the last 2 times I've been here, like things kind of changed a bit. And also it's very dependent on like your experience in the outreach. Like sometimes you have really receptive people, so like it feels like, you know, oh, that was my favorite outreach. And then the next year, people might not receive you as well, and you get rejected a few times, so it doesn't feel like, you know, it was as successful. Right. So like, yeah, it changes every time, but I always like Viva La Worship because it's such an open way, and like, yeah, it's not always received that well, because some people are like, these crazy Christians, what are they doing? But it's just such a open proclamation of God's love.
Yeah, super awkward.
Yeah.
I've said it before that I've come to Vegas like 8 times, and I've walked by that spot just as like a tourist, you know, a whole bunch of times. And it's super weird, like, to go to that same spot and like be doing that instead.
Yeah.
I think it's neat that a lot of you have never been here not on mission. Like, it's so weird to me because there's such a contrast in my mind. What were some of the things on this trip that were like impacting to you or kind of stood out this time?
So just this time, I felt like really bold and confident. Like, so yeah, it takes the first few, obviously it's like, oh, I don't know whether to approach them and stuff. Yeah. But then once you get going, it just gets easier. And I felt this year particularly, I had like a new sense of boldness and courage. And yeah, but then tonight actually, what was the commitment service?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was just praying to God, because 2 years ago I felt God telling me to be a missionary. So I was like, that's really cool, and I've been passionate about that ever since. Yeah. But sometimes God changes his plans for whatever reason, we don't know, and it's kind of annoying, you know. But yeah, so he changes his plans sometimes, and I was like, since then I haven't had it confirmed again that that's what he still wants me to do.
Right.
So I was just praying, you know, maybe like send some interns my way and like have them pray for me, or just give me some sign that this is still what you want me to do. And like before I even finished the prayer, before I like said amen, Rachel came up to me and she just told me about a vision she had for me that just like cemented what I was thinking about. And after she prayed for me, Josiah came up to me and he talked about like how he thought that like I had such a heart for people, and that I was like a fisherwoman, not a fisherman, but a fisherwoman. And
woman power.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after that, like Alyssa came up to me and asked if I wanted prayer for anything, and I thought like, wow, that's amazing. Like I asked for it and I definitely got it. So
whoa,
yeah,
good trip. What were some things that were challenging this time?
Well, there were some times when we weren't received very well. Like it wasn't necessarily like we were told to go away, or like told really harshly to not share with them, but it was just how many times it happened. Especially on Fremont Street, like we asked so many people and we ended up only talking to one, and we didn't even get around to praying with her because she like felt like everything was so good that she didn't really need prayer. And yeah, so that was kind of, none of them actually shut us down, but it was just being rejected that many times was kind of hard. Yeah.
What do you think as you return to Fremont again? What's going to be on your mind spiritual wise?
So in terms of what we want to do when I get back, like Bree and I have talked about this. We have so many things that we want to do. Like Vegas, Grace City Church was doing a 24-hour prayer. And so 24 hours is kind of a long time. So we were thinking like doing a 12-hour prayer, maybe, I don't know, like Elizabeth or something with AMP, and doing something like that. And just bringing some more energy to Resonate, having, I don't know, like a dance group in the corner or just something that, just brings more energy.
Yeah.
And there was some other stuff as well. But personally, I want to do more devos, like longer specifically because I have so much time. Like, why not, you know?
Yeah.
And praying about more specific things like Indonesia, because I feel called to Indonesia. So just like praying about the country of Indonesia and like, you know, that whenever I go, that it would receive me with open hearts and just the people would be ready to learn.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a heavy calling. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to him. Well done, girl.
Thank you.
All right, Jaden Downing, the one and only. Welcome to the show.
What's up?
Or interviews. I haven't decided to call this a show yet, or what are we doing? It's a show.
We'll find out.
We're doing a show. This is your second time in Vegas, just like you were, sis. Tell me what you were thinking coming here. What were you thinking coming here?
Yeah. Honestly, like, for the past few months, I've been in kind of just like a spiritual lull. Kind of just lacking like that motivation to just like do what God commands.
Yeah.
And so I mostly came like for the spiritual stuff and for just loving on the community here.
Yeah.
But I think one of the main reasons why I did it is like just like so I can hang out with friends. Just like I was lacking that motivation to do it. But like during this week, throughout just like doing everything, I feel like I've regained that motivation and I feel just really pumped.
Yeah. What do you think did it?
I don't know. It's like a few weeks ago I heard in a sermon that feeling doesn't lead to doing leads to feeling. In a way.
Yeah.
So like I've been waiting for just like that Jesus feeling before I actually start doing things.
Yeah.
But that part of the sermon really stuck out to me, and it gave me more motivation. And like I really thought about it, just like, okay, maybe while I'm at Vegas, if I try harder, talk to more people, actually do stuff, I will begin to feel that motivation once again, and I have.
Right. Yeah. Those steps of obedience are rewarded with the feeling that you were looking for before. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a hugely mature thing to be struggling with or to be realizing, I think. Just that because a lot of people rely, like, the feeling is almost like the whole reason they do anything. It's because they want to feel good about it. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to do this because it feels good. I'm going to worship here because I'm going to go to this church. And that one doesn't feel good anymore. I'm going to go to this church because this church they got fog and lights and stuff. And then we forget that, like, we're not in this for the feeling.
Yeah.
We're called to a mission that's totally separate from our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're there.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. That's powerful because that allows you to serve your king instead of serving your own emotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah. So what were some of the things about this trip that kind of stood out for you outreach-wise or even around here?
Well, one thing that I think really stood out to me happened just like a few minutes ago during a commitment service.
Ooh.
So, like, I'll give some backstory. So, like, I recently, for the past, like, year, I've been, like, feeling really pressured to be like, oh, what is God's plan for me? What does he want? What is he calling me to do in life? And I've been, like, feeling that pressure, so I've been, like, praying and stuff. And, like, my family comes from a long line of teachers. Like, my parents are teachers. My grandma's a teacher. My aunt and uncle are, like, a teacher and a librarian. So I thought, okay, what if my calling is to become a teacher? What if God wants me to just, like, stay in that family line and be a teacher?
Wow.
And one day, a few months ago, I, like, started, like, seriously considering, like, what if God wants me to be a teacher, that whole thing. And that same day, we had Amplify. I came on Tuesday, and Christina and Vachelle came talking about Vegas, advertising that.
Yeah.
And every time they talk about Vegas, they give out all these stats. And the one that always sticks out to me every time is that Vegas has the worst school district in the entire country.
Yeah.
And it immediately clicked to me that just like, oh snap, just this morning I was thinking about like, what if I became a teacher? And now this happens the same day. Is it a coincidence? I don't know.
Weird.
So like, that's just been sitting in the back of my head for ever since then. And then I come on this trip. I have a great time, and I'm just like, we get this whole like commitment cards. I'm thinking it brings me back to the topic of like, what is God's calling for me? So I began praying just like, what is like God trying to do for me here?
Wow.
Like, what does he want me to do? So like, I talked to Josiah. He prays for me. I tell him what I've been thinking. I talked to Mac. He prays for me. I tell him what I'm thinking, all that.
Yeah.
I talked to Rachel, who shares a vision with me about how, like, I thought it was kind of weird. So she said that there was this, like, horse race, you know, like with the track and the horses and the riders trying to win.
Horses in the back? Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like a horse race.
Yeah.
And we start, we're running.
Yeah.
And eventually I'm in the race, and I just like zoom past everybody and like in the lead. But as I'm doing that, I start like bringing everybody else forward. So we're all just like in a line, just like tied in a way.
Oh.
Just like all in the same place. No one's ahead of the other. No one's behind the other. And like she shared this vision with me, and I was thinking, after thinking about it, I was like, that sounds a lot like teaching. Like bringing the next generation up along with myself. And I'm just thinking like my calling, I think God is calling me to be like a teacher in Las Vegas in a way.
Whoa. Yeah. That's a pretty big revelation, man.
Yeah, and this just happened like 45 minutes ago.
Wow. Okay. So I'm excited to see what that means. What were some challenging points of the trip for you?
Again, the whole motivation thing.
Yeah.
But I've gotten past that, so that's great.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think another thing might have just been like overcoming that barrier of like, what do people think about me?
Yeah.
Because like during these outreaches, I've seen several people, and I'm just like, should I talk to that person? Should I not? And most of the time I decided not to.
Yeah.
And it was challenging. And then I like see someone else talking to them like a few minutes later, and like end up praying for them. I'm just like, whoa, that could have been me. But it wasn't, because I was too scared.
Right.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So anything else you want to tell your AMP fam on the podcast?
I don't know. Maybe I'll just... I guess what everyone else is saying, just to really emphasize it, like, it's so important to just, like, really be a part of that Amplify community and make the most of your AMP experience.
Yeah.
I know several people who haven't been doing that.
Yeah.
And it's just really sad to just see them, in a way, ostracized from the group.
What is that? She's dragging tables down the hallway. That's funny. Mac's gonna go wrestle him. Dude, the noise part is part of the show.
Oh yeah,
that's where we're at.
It's a live show.
We're inside the YWAM base. This is where ministry happens. It's a busy spot. It's people yelling and shouting and dragging tables. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Jaden,
so really make the most of your AMP experience.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
You won't regret it.
I'm so glad to hear what's going through your mind. This is great. I can't wait to see what's next. This is super cool. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well done.
Wait, yeah, what happened to you?
I'm loving it.
I burned my head.
Am I being recorded right now?
We're recording.
We are recording, guys. We are recording.
All right. Shh. Okay. Hezzy?
Yes, sir.
Hezekiah Crawford.
My man.
Welcome to the show.
Wow. So it's a show.
Yeah, it's a show now. We officially changed it into a show as we're doing it.
Nice.
So, you have a pretty unique story in general, and I want to actually spend a little time with you and rewind the clock a bit and Because you actually came here you were born here, but you lived in India until you were how old?
Like 13 or 14, I think. Yeah.
And then you came to the USA. Tell me a little bit about like what the transition from India to the US was for you. Focus.
So the transition was a little bit difficult. And one of the main reasons for that is just because Indian and American culture is like super different.
Yeah.
And so the way that people talk and interact with one another, the sheer amount of like cuss words and like dirty things that people say it's way more here.
Yeah.
Just how people interact and like even just eye contact things, like in India it's like not weird to stare at people. And so over here sometimes people, they're looking at their phones when they're talking to you, and so they can't make eye contact.
Right.
And so it's kind of like polar opposites in some senses. So that was definitely difficult, as well as the schooling system, because there's a lot more kids in school here, and so that was just a little bit different and a little bit difficult. But overall I would say like we transitioned pretty well as a family.
Yeah. I think it was weird that you don't speak with any like Indian accent. I figured like spending that much time in India, you would at least sound a little Indian. It's funny.
Yeah, so it's funny. So when I was in India, when I interacted with my Indian friends, I would speak in like an Indian accent. But as soon as I got home, my voice would change to like more normal, like to what it is now. I think it just depends on who I'm talking to.
That's funny. Get right up on that mic there.
I'm right up on it.
Thank you. So, tell me, coming to this trip for the second time, right? What were some of the things that were on your mind coming into it? Looking forward to, dreading, everything.
So I was definitely worried about it being hot, like I think a lot of other people were.
Yeah.
But something
last year was 114.
Yeah, and we were like roasting, and this bus didn't have AC, so that was a little bit worrying. But honestly, like that didn't turn out to be bad at all. I think what I was really looking forward to was just hoping to build some relationships with some people, as well as just grow closer to God and kind of like stoke the fire that I have for Him.
Yeah.
I feel like when we're ministering to other people, we tend to grow in our own faith because it reinforces ideas that we already have, and so that was definitely something I was looking forward to do.
Yeah.
And I think Vegas is just a unique perspective on interacting with people and ministering to them.
Yeah.
Because so many people here are broken and suffering. But like some places there are people that are like doing really well and they're super successful, and so there's this big contrast in a lot of the people that live here.
It's awesome. As far as this trip goes, what were some of the highlights for you?
So one of the highlights for me was just so we did the prayer ministry and outreach, and so we went to Fremont Street, and we talked to a bunch of people, asked them if they wanted prayer, just interacted with them, try to listen to their stories. And there was this one guy I met who was in a Paw Patrol costume, and
that's right, that was you. Okay.
Yeah.
We were trying to remember who did the Paw Patrol.
Yeah. And so I talked to him, and it was a really sweet interaction, and he seemed really open to just hearing about God and wanting to know like who this Lord is that loves him and wants to save him, not by anything he's doing but by grace. And so it ended up after we talked that we prayed together and he got saved.
Yeah.
So that was really awesome. I thought another really cool thing was just the other day when we did that outreach in the pretty ghetto neighborhood and kind of low end income neighborhood, and we reached out to those kids and we had that dance party at the park and we just played with them and had fun with them, and they were smiling and they were all laughing, and
that was super fun.
Yeah, I think it's cool because just working with kids, I think it tends to, like, a lot of us have like a big heart for kids.
Yeah.
And so I think that interaction was just like super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was something that maybe was challenging for you or just hard to deal with?
I think one thing that was super challenging for me is I just wanted to make sure that this trip, everything I did it for the glory of God and not for myself. And I didn't want to like leave any. I know that it can't really be perfect, but I wanted to leave as little as possible kind of space between me doing things for like God's glory and for myself. I just wanted it all to be for God and nothing to be for myself. And so that was something that was constantly on my mind through this trip.
especially like when that guy got saved and a lot of people started asking me like, oh, so cool.
The Paw Patrol guy?
Yeah, the Paw Patrol guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it wasn't really me. It was like God, right? He put me in that situation,
right.
And the guy was open. And honestly, I think a lot of people could have helped pray with him and save him. So I think something that's been on my mind this whole trip was like, do it for the glory of God, because I've been really worried that like I know I'm naturally quite prideful, and so I didn't want to like mess up and do something for myself rather than for God.
Awesome. Anything else on your mind as the trip wraps up? Commitment service just happened and heading home tomorrow, or at least halfway home.
Personally for me, I just want to be able to, for all the people that I talk to at AMP and just in general, I just want to be able to treat them more like the sons and daughters of God that they are.
Yeah.
Rather than like people that are intended to either please me or like not please me, and if I don't like them, then they don't mean as much, or they don't like necessarily, like I can kind of discard them.
Right.
I guess like it's kind of easy to do and to not really try and invest in them, not always necessarily being like mean or rude, just but like not
right.
interacting and trying to build up healthy relationships if I don't think that like I can click with them. And so just trying to treat them more as the sons and daughters of like Christ, and trying to love people better. That's something that I'm definitely struggling to do, so I want to be able to commit more to.
It's awesome. I like it. All right. Anything else you want to say to the AMP fam as they're listening? This is your big moment.
Okay, Amplify. You should definitely come out to Vegas next year. If you didn't come this year,
you missed out.
It's definitely worth it. Any fears that you might have are cool, but like they don't really matter.
Yeah.
God will prepare you and use you.
Beautiful, my friend. Proud of you. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Hey, Mac.
How is it going?
Good. So you're the first non-student we're talking to.
Oh.
You are a student in some sorts, but you're in one of the interns here, right?
Yes, sir, I am.
From Liberty?
Yeah.
Right on. Year. So how long have you been out in Vegas?
This is week 4.5.
4.5. Okay. What was it that kind of got you interested in doing this as your intern experience? Because there's a lot of options, right?
There can be.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a lot of doors open for me, which is the Lord being very kind, because I'm horrible at making decisions. So like I need the Lord to give me as few options as possible.
Okay.
So I had recently had a revelation about the time that Grace City was coming to talk to us, because they have a big connection with Liberty. So they get to go into a lot of the evangelism classes and like invite students and just talk about their ministry.
Yeah.
And so the Lord had basically kind of shown me, like, I was thinking like, oh man, I can't wait for summer. You know, I'm in the middle of school. It's first semester and I'm already ready to be done.
Yeah.
And it's just like this point where I was like I can't wait to like go hang out with friends and just like do all this stuff. And I was like, what if my summer was given to God, and like what if I allowed him to use that time for like whatever he wants to use it for, instead of thinking that my time is my own, like he's put me on this earth to do like his will. So I was like, Lord, like, all right, fine, my summer's yours, whatever you want to do with it. And then Grace City shows up like dangerous the next day.
Dangerous thing to say to God.
Anytime you promise something to the Lord, he's gonna follow through with it.
Yeah.
So Grace City came, and Christina came into one of my classes. She's the leader here.
Yeah.
And it just talked about just the incredible things that God was doing. And I think it makes so much more sense now why I was so excited, because people just reiterate over and over and over, like, it's so important to go where God is working and where he's moving, like, and to be a part of that. Like, so like when I heard that they were just like walking up to people in the park and the Lord was literally just like delivering them into their hand, and then like 2 months later they were like, by the way, like, you didn't even realize this other half of the testimony, but the fact that you even talked to me that day like saved my life, you know. And it's just like, it just blew me away, and the fact that people were just drawn so close like through all of that. So I was like, the Lord's obviously doing so much, and just like, if it's ripe for the picking, like I'm gonna go gather. So that's
perfect.
I just knew I wanted to be a part of it when they first mentioned it. I was like, I have to go. So
that's awesome. What do you enjoy about having the high schoolers around, the students?
They can't hear this right now. If only they were here to hear me brag on them. But they are seriously some of the most genuine, sweet,
like just on fire kids. It's just been incredible just to watch every single one of them grow. And I think that's the most encouraging part for me, because like despite the fact that I didn't even do a whole lot other than like just be present, just to watch like the discipling that comes from just following after the Lord and just like burning for him, and just like, oh geez, just to watch kids who just want to go and share the love of Jesus like that, it makes me so happy that like it's just overwhelming.
That's awesome. Yeah. What's been just like one or two of the wins that you've experienced in your time here? You won a wrestling match against Hezekiah.
This one kid, poor guy, got like a bruised eye because I hit him into the ground so hard.
You won't make that mistake again.
Got a little weight on him, so it's not his fault. Personal wins. I mean, man, like as crazy as the ministry's been, like, I really do feel like God uses me a lot more often to encourage other Christians. It's ridiculous because everyone's else like, yeah, this person got radically saved on the street today and just like poured out all their drugs. And I'm like, great. I talked to 3 Christians and just told them that like, it's okay. Keep fighting the good fight. And that's just really like the Lord uses me for that a lot.
Yeah.
So that's been fantastic. And I think the other half of that is just how the Lord's grown me. I think a lot of my wins have come in my own personal battle and struggles, where it's like, you know, my freshman year of college coming out, you know, I'm hot stuff, but I still have so much to learn. The Lord humbled me so much when I got out here, and just had so much love and grace to pour out on me, and just to show me that like I'm trying too hard and that it's okay just to sit and enjoy being in my Father's arms. So I mean, man,
I love it.
Just that perspective is crazy.
That's a great place to be. Yeah. And are you 19, 20?
I am 19.
19, right on. Wow. Well, with a summer like that, I'm excited to see what would be next for you then.
Who knows, man?
That's a great attitude to enter when the summer's just starting, honestly, for you guys. Like,
still
you got
a whole nother month.
6 more weeks or something like that.
Halfway through, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'll be excited to see
keep you guys updated
if we get to see you again. I don't know, somewhere. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, hey, thanks for like leading and loving on our students and just being.
It's easy, man.
You know, I feel like they connected with you really well. So I'm glad you were here for them. So thanks a lot. Well done.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Pleasure.
All right, Gabriel Braden.
What's up, Weber?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man.
So is this your first Vegas experience?
This is my first
mission experience.
Yeah.
You've been to Vegas before?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Visited with family.
A little different this time then.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah. So what were you kind of expecting as you were coming out here? Like you've only heard things, you hadn't like done this thing before, so what was your take on it?
Well, I was like, expecting what Chase was kind of like warning us about with like the like the people on the streets and that sort of crowd, and like the half naked showgirls kind of walking around. Like I've seen it before, so really? It was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, what else is new?
Careful not to unplug that with your hand. You don't mess with that.
But like I did not expect to see like as many homeless people as there are. I thought like there might be
piles of them.
I know, it's crazy. I thought there was a lot in Fremont.
Yeah.
Like this is nuts. But as far as like what I was expecting to experience, I don't know. I was expecting to just like kind of have fun and like really be challenged as far as like social anxiety goes, because like just going out there and like sharing the gospel, let alone with people I don't really know at all, is kind of like terrifying.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah, because like I can't even do that in my own like personal life very well sometimes. So it's like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So,
what was maybe just one of the things that kind of stood out to you as a win for the week for you?
I think it was when like we started doing the outreaches, especially the outreach on, I think it was like Tuesday, where we went out and like my group with Team John, you know how they like divided like Team James and Team John.
Yeah.
So for Team John for that day we did the homeless outreach. So basically we just sat down and like talked to like just a random homeless person and like had lunch with them, and like told them about like the gospel a little bit and just offered free prayer to them. And
it's pretty different. Yeah,
it was just like it it really like helped me like face that anxiety. And I feel like the outreach the night before was just as important because I gave my testimony like right in front of the MGM Grand. Like I was just like projecting my voice to like these people that were just trying to walk by. I'm trying to get like, I was trying to get their attention, be like, yes, I'm talking about you right in the corner over there, walking by. Jesus loves you.
Stop walking. Listen to me.
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are definitely like I feel like there were like 2 key moments.
Yeah.
But they like both did the same thing. It like helped me like battle that anxiety of like sharing the gospel with people.
Yeah. Did you find anything particularly challenging this week that stood out to you as a hard part?
Yeah, there was definitely a hard part. It was kind of coming to terms with like...
Speak right into that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was kind of coming to terms with like how like I, you know, how I think of love and like how I know it and how like how I love other people just in general. Like that's kind of like the abridged version of it.
Yeah.
But just like to expand upon that a little bit more is like I, you know, like when I come to AMP, it's like I see so many like these people kind of like interacting with each other, and I kind of have like really bad FOMO, I found out. And I'm just like, man, I really want to like interact with them and like be part of all those conversations. But then I think like over time this week I kind of had to realize like, you know, I'm not like, maybe I'm just not meant to like interact with all these people and like only have like a handful of like really good close friends and like kind of focus on those. And like, you know, if I make some acquaintances along the way, cool. But like maybe God just kind of wants me to like serve the few people the way I want to in that way, and the other people I can just like pray for or you know, whatever. So
that's good though. That's good. I'm glad you're being challenged in that way.
Mm-hmm.
That means you grow in that way.
Yeah.
Right. Even the wins are great, but even the hard things, you grow in those too. Like there's no losing.
Yeah.
This whole thing is great.
It's a win-win situation.
Gabe, thank you for coming out.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
Really appreciate just doing this.
You did well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. That was pretty fun. Some of these kids are super goofy, and you know, I hope you enjoyed listening to that. It was a good mix, I think, of just kind of casual, funny, goofy stuff, and just the serious response they got from the trip. It just makes me so proud again to hear their experiences, to hear where their heads are at, to hear just how gospel-centered these kids are. Just blows me away. Blows me away. It's stuff like this that motivates people like me to just keep showing up and just keep pouring out whatever I have on behalf of these students. They're worth whatever we've got. Thank you so much to Chase McVean for his hard work consistently with these students, for Marissa Pies for coming out there, for Brianna McVean for coming out there, for Brianna McCloy for being a leader, to the YWAM staff, and to all of the interns out there. Thank you so much for that experience. These students, they come back different every single year, and we are blessed to have been a part of what God is doing in Las Vegas. So thanks for listening. See you next time.